I'm Dr. Rizwana, working as a professor of physics in Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. Today we are going to discuss about very important phenomena exhibited by light. So that important phenomena is interference. In our previous videos, we have seen what are the main conditions in order to get interference. So for main thing in order to get interference is having coherent sources. And we have seen that scientist Thomas Youngs, how he has come to a conclusion to get coherent sources. And using those two coherent sources, we try to get conditions for constructive interference as well as destructive interference. So once we get those conditions, now we'll try to, of course, on the screen, because of interference, we have seen that we get alternate bright and dark fringes. Now we try to get what is the width of the bright fringe and what is the width of the dark fringe. So today we are going to analyze in detail about those interference fringes formed on the screen. So if we proceed further, this is our Young's double slit experiment again. Now in this case, here we have taken our two virtual coherent sources, and in this case we are representing by A and B. First we will take one single source of light, and that single source of light, it should be a monochromatic source where we are maintaining single wavelength. So light from that source of light, again it is made to pass through two pinholes or two narrow slits, A and B. And this A and B, they should be very close to each other, and these two slits, they should be very, very narrow. Width of these slits should be very, very small, and A and B, they are kept very close to each other, and distance of separation between these two coherent sources, it is represented by small d. And we know that in order to get good interference pattern, the small d, which is nothing but distance between two virtual coherent sources, it should be very, very small. And then next we have taken a screen, and that screen, it is represented by Mn, and this screen, it is kept at distance capital D from these two virtual coherent sources. So it is kept at a distance capital D from these two virtual coherent sources. So this is our experimental setup which we have used in Young's double slit experiment. Now what we know that once our light from a single source enters these two slits A and B, here we have light waves getting divided because of division of amplitude, and we'll get two waves coming from these two sources A and B, and you will say that these two waves will be coherent waves. Why? Because these waves, they are coming from the single source, and our A and B, they'll of course, we'll name them as virtual coherent sources. So again, what I'm doing from the source A, I'm considering a wave, and this wave starting from the middle point of source A, it reaches the point P on the screen. Similarly, I'm taking one more wave which is starting from the middle point of another source B, and it is reaching same point P on the screen. In our previous video, we have seen what are the conditions for P to be bright and what are the conditions for P to be darker. Now today we are going to see what is the width. Once we get that maximum intensity, what is the width of that maximum intensity, or what is the width of bright fringe and what is the width of dark fringe. So for that, so here we are of course one very important theory which is playing main role in interference pattern is our Huygens principle. And we know what is Huygens principle. Huygens principle is when we are taking these two virtual coherent sources A and B, then waves that are coming from these two sources A and B, they spread out, overlap with each other, and once they come onto the screen, because of their overlapping, they will form equally spaced alternate bright and dark fringes, and these are nothing but the interference fringes or bands. And here, first what I am doing here is, first I am taking a point C on the screen, and we know that this point C, it is exactly at the middle of the screen, and what you will observe here is waves coming from both sources A and B to the point C, that is middle of the screen, their path difference. So difference between their paths will be 0 because they are traveling same distance in order to reach this point C on the screen. So once the path difference is 0, then we know that this is the condition for maximum intensity. Suppose if we try to quickly revise what are those conditions for maxima and minima, we'll observe that in order to get maxima, our path difference, it should be equal to 0, integral multiple of lambda. So lambda, 2 lambda, 3 lambda, and so on. Whereas, what should be the path difference in order to get this destructive interference or the dark fringe? So here it is half integral multiple of lambda. So how it is given? It is given as lambda by 2, 3 lambda by 2, 5 lambda by 2, and so on. So this is the condition in order to get bright fringe or bright band, and whereas this is the condition in order to get the dark band. And here we have seen that two waves which are starting from the sources A and B and reaching point C on the screen, their path difference is 0, and once your path difference is 0, this is the condition for maxima. That's why our point C will be a bright fringe. So our center C on the screen will be a central bright fringe. Why? Because waves are undergoing constructive interference. And why they are going on constructive interference? Because they are in phase with each other and their path difference is 0. So two waves which are superimposing at the point C, their path difference is 0. And here, suppose if we close one of the slits in this experiment, if we try to close one of the slits, we'll observe that our fringes will disappear and there will be uniform illumination on the screen. Instead of the bands, what we'll get entire screen being uniformly illuminated. It means that bands are formed because of interference. So because there are no two coherent sources, that's why there is no concept of superposition of coherent waves or superposition of the waves which are in phase with each other. That's why you'll not see formation of bands on the screen. So here, because what you are observing here is we are maintaining the two coherent sources. That's why we are able to get equally spaced alternate bright and dark fringes on the screen. Now coming to our experimental setup of Young's double slit experiment, as we have taken small d is distance between these two virtual coherent sources, and this d, it should be very, very small, and capital D is distance of the screen from these two virtual sources. And here I am selecting certain points on the screen. Of course, this point C, it is the center of the screen, and then our point P is the point where these two waves are coming and meeting or where they are overlapping. And apart from that, I have selected 2 points. So starting from exactly middle point of the source A onto the screen, I have taken one point E, and similarly starting from the source B, middle point of the source B onto the screen, I have taken point F. And here what I am saying here is from the center of the screen C, I am saying that this point P, it is at the distance X. So I am introducing one term X. What is X? X is distance of this point P from the center of the screen. And what is point P? It is the point where our waves from these two virtual coherent sources are overlapping. And then of course O. O is exactly middle of these two coherent sources, right? And then next, what we can say here is from this center, these two distances, as we know the distance between centers of A and B is small d. So if I keep center this point, if I take it as O, then this distance, it will come as d by 2, and this distance will also come as d by 2. Okay, so by taking all these parameters into consideration, first, what I'll try to do is I'll try to find what is the path difference between the two waves which are starting from the center of two virtual coherent sources but reaching the same point on the screen. So for that, so what is the path traveled by the wave which is starting from the point A? So that path traveled is AP. And whereas the wave which is starting from the point from the source B, what is the path traveled? It is BP. So what is the path difference between those two waves reaching point B? That path difference, it is given as BP minus AP. And we know that wave which is coming from the source B, it has traveled extra path compared to wave which has come from source A. So we need to find this path difference. So next what I am going to do here is, as we know that C is a point on the screen which is equidistant from A and B, and O is the midpoint of AB, which are our two coherent sources. And we know that waves from A and B, they meet at point P, and they can be in phase or they can be out of phase, and that particular value depends upon their path difference. And what is the path difference? That path difference is nothing but BP minus AP. Now we need to find this BP and AP. So for that, what we are going to do here is, coming back to this formula, so as we have taken our path differences BP minus AP, now here I am going to make use of two right angle triangles. So what are those two right angle triangles? First, I'll take right angle triangle AEP. If I take this right angle triangle AEP, so from this triangle, I'll try to find AP. So for that, we know that from our Pythagoras theorem, we can write square of hypotenuse, that is nothing but AP square. This AP square is equal to AE square plus EP square. So we can write from this triangle AEP. I am taking this triangle AEP. And we know that AE square is our capital D square. And what about this EP square? This EP square, you will observe that this is nothing but x minus b by 2 whole square. So I'm talking about this distance. So this distance. We know that this point P, it is at the distance x from the center of the screen. And whereas this distance, we know that it is d by 2. So from this total distance x, I have to take out this d by 2. So that's my EP. It comes out to be x minus d by 2 whole square. Now I'm making use of one more right angle triangle. Now in this case, my right angle triangle is BFP. So this is the triangle which I'm taking into consideration. So if I take this right angle triangle BFP, what you will observe here is, so in this case, BP square, so square of our hypotenuse, it is equal to BF square plus FP square. And again, if you consider here, what is BF square? It is square of capital D plus FP square. We know that this distance is D by 2, whereas this total distance is x. So it comes out to be x plus d by 2 whole square. Then after that, what I am going to do, I am going to find BP square minus AP square. So once if I take this BP square minus AP square, so here you'll observe that BP square minus AP square, if we do it, then what we have to do, d square plus x plus d by 2 whole square minus d square minus x minus d by 2 whole square. This d square and d square will get cancelled. And what you will observe here is this BP square minus AP square, it is in the form of A square minus B square. And this we can write it as BP plus AP into BP minus AP, which is equal to, if I try to simplify this, I think it comes out to be, so here it is x square plus 2 xd plus d square by 4 minus x square, then plus xd minus d square by 4. So we end up having it as 2x small d. And here, this one, BP plus AP, approximately, I'll take it to be 2D, 2 times the D. Okay. So if I take this as 2 times the D, 2D into BP minus AP, it is equal to 2XD. So we end up having path difference as XD by capital D. This is our path difference. So we are able to get path difference between these two waves. So once we know the path difference, so here in this slide we try to do it. So as I have told you, so here BP and AP we have taken. So by making use of those two right angle triangle, we end up having our path difference as x small d by capital D. And what is x? X is distance of point P from the center of the screen, and small d is distance between two virtual coherent sources, and capital D is distance of those two virtual coherent sources from the screen. Now this path difference we'll try to apply for the conditions of maxima and minima. And we know that when we'll have bright fringe when path difference is integral multiple of lambda. And we know what is the path difference. We got xd by capital D is equal to n lambda. And from this we'll observe that, so we are introducing one parameter. So here in this case, we'll have our x. X is distance of the bright fringe from the center of the screen. So it comes out to be n lambda capital D by small d. So this is very important parameter. And this I can also write it as xn is equal to n lambda d by d. What is xn? Xn is distance of the bright fringe from the center of the screen. Similarly, we try to do for dark fringe. And we know that when we'll get dark fringe, if path difference is 2n plus 1 lambda by 2. And if we substitute our path difference here, 2n plus 1 lambda by 2, this is the condition. This particular x value is distance of dark fringe from the center of the screen. So for bright fringe, we got that distance from the center of the screen as n lambda d by 2d. And whereas for dark fringe, distance of dark fringe from the center of the screen, we got it as 2n plus 1 lambda d by 2d. Now, I am introducing one parameter, fringe width. It is given by y. And how we are going to define this fringe width? Fringe width, it is defined as distance between two consecutive bright fringes or dark fringes. Now first I'll take bright fringes. And what is the condition for bright fringe? It is given as n lambda d by small d. Now I'll take second fringe as well as the first fringe. So it is the distance between two successive or consecutive bright fringes. So if I substitute 2 in place of n, I end up having 2 lambda d by d, minus if I substitute 1 here, I end up having lambda d by d, and it comes out to be lambda d by d. So this is the distance between two bright fringes, or it's the fringe width of bright fringe, and it is given by parameter y. So this is called as fringe width. Similarly, we'll try to do for dark fringe. And for dark fringe, we know the condition that distance from the center of the screen, it is given as 2n plus 1. So here we have seen it is 2n plus 1 lambda capital D by 2d. And here also if I consider x2 minus x1, then here I'll have 5 lambda d by 2d minus 3 lambda d by 2d. So we end up having 2 lambda d by 2d. This 2 will get cancelled. Again we end up this having fringe width as lambda d by small d. And we'll observe that distance between two consecutive bright and dark fringe, it is same, and it is called as the fringe width. And how it is given? It is given by the formula y is equal to lambda capital D by small d. So here you'll observe that all bright and dark fringes, they are of the same intensity, that we can see in this particular figure. So here we derived the expression for the fringe width. So with this, we are going to stop our session here. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.